ॐ वाङ्मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्म एधि वेदस्य आणीस्थ श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीः अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Om. May my speech be firmly established in my mind. May the mind too be firmly established in my speech. May there be perfect correspondence between my thoughts, words, and actions. O self-effulgent Lord, be revealed in my consciousness. May the truths of the scriptures come to me. May what I learn from them never ever forsake me. Let me live my life day and night according to their teachings. I shall speak what is appropriate. I shall speak the truth. May that protect me. May that protect the teacher. Om. Peace, peace, peace. The sages tell us that the reality is one without second. It is only the forms, the different shapes that create the illusion of multiplicity. Like the different ice cubes. They are just water in different shapes. Let us feel each of us is like an ice cube. We feel we are different from each other. Everything is different. Let us feel we are kept in a warm room. I am feeling the warmth. I am melting. My shape is vanishing. All the ideas about I. This is my height. This is my weight. This is my skin color. This is my education. This is my age. These are my parents. This is my town. All that is just melting. All becoming one with the whole existence. I can see that it is one infinite ocean of existence itself. There is no time or space, no distinction of I and you. The radiance of this oneness and the spontaneous peace and love have filled my awareness. There is no desire left. Om, peace. peace. So we have been studying the biography of Sri Ramakrishna, a very special biography, as we have seen that it does not just narrate the events of his life, but points out also the special, very unusual intentions behind all these actions. Sri Ramakrishna is the divine in human form. I had mentioned that very nice illustrative incident that happened many years ago in this Vedanta society. This new chapel wasn't there. It was the old chapel, and a little girl came with her grandmother, and grandmother said, well, she has a question. She wants to ask you a question. And then this little girl takes me to that old chapel. All such chairs were not there. You can see those chairs still there, all wooden chairs. So she pointed to the picture of Sri Ramakrishna and asked me, is he God or is he man? And then what to tell, this is a very difficult question. Even grown-ups also get this question because what is it? It is the phenomena is man and yet divine. So, well, I thought of an answer, asked that girl showing the chair, tell me, is it chair or wood? Is that chair or wood? And that little brilliant girl said, oh, understood. It is both. It is wood. By becoming chair, its woodness doesn't go away. It still is very much wood. It will burn like wood. And yet functionally, in appearance, it is a chair. So here is the divine, all-pervading divine, and yet has a human form. So we shall discuss this biographies, today's part on page 893, after we recite the opening chant. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavibhiriditam kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadattatam Bhuvi grinanti te Bhurida jana. So this phenomena of God becoming man has been observed, and in fact you will see all the religions in this world, they revolve around such a person who is a human being but yet divine. Those religions may not use the word God incarnation, but yet the idea is same, that as you read in the book of John in Bible, that yes, it is the word becomes flesh. It is the all-pervading reality assumes that human form. Why? To teach humanity, to take us to our true nature. Each of us is actually that divine being, but not realizing it, we feel that we are just a little being. We were born, we grow, we are subject to death, we are subject to all sorts of bondage and suffering. That is the awareness that we have. Just like imagine an ice cube has the awareness that I am little ice cube. All the other ice cubes, they are different from me. We are all separate, we are all different. Now what is that ice cube's identity? Just the shape. If you look inside, it is all the same water. So in all these forms, it is the same divine, unchanging principle. Now, this is a special form. In Vedanta, this idea is told that there is all is manifestation of God, no doubt. But there is this very special manifestation which is on our plane and yet at the same time is aware of the transcendent reality and therefore can show us the way. Therefore, it is said in that book of John that you cannot see the Father without the Son. It is the Son is on our plane, human being, and so through the Son one can see the Father. So it is exactly the human aspect. Here is human to whom we can connect. Otherwise it is all abstract. Many have therefore this idea of Vedanta that it is an abstract something, all pervading, infinite and so forth. Just we read about it that everything is non-dual. Question is, do we experience it? Do we realize it? And the way to the realization of this goes through a human manifestation, because that is what one can connect to. We can learn from other human beings. It generates a conviction in us. Otherwise, it is just maybe thinking about it and then forming certain ideas which keep on shifting and changing without any direction. So, therefore, when you see such a being, then you feel, yes, very good. Now, here I have something to connect to. It is like a ship that can ferry us from one shore to the other shore. The ship has the capability. We are on one shore. Say the shore of this divided names and forms and the world of misery and bondage. That is one shore. And now there is the other shore, the shore of divinity, shore where there is no difference. It is all the world of illumination. So there is no bondage, no darkness, and when we look at our state, it appears to be just a poetic imagination that yes, there cannot be any such thing, but then there is a ship that goes between the two, between the two shores. So it comes to our shore, but does not just be there. It tells us, come on, get in, and then ferries us across to the other shore. So we have to, have the courage to board this ship. If we are too attached to this shore, we will refuse to board the ship. We will be just try to find some these illusory pieces of happiness in this world. Okay, let me get a better job and then I will be happy. Or some such idea that it is after this then I will become happy. And thus we keep on doing the same thing. It doesn't take us anywhere. So here is the ship. Here the captain of the ship is as if we are telling, come on, you can go to that shore where there is no strife, there is no bondage, there is no misery, there is no I and you, this division. The problem with us is this division, I and world. A fictitious division, if you think about it. It is an unreal division because we do not know where I ends and the world begins. Try to draw a boundary line. Here I ends and the world begins. Ajay, you can try, you are a brilliant guy, so you can try to draw a line that here I ends and the world begins. And soon as you make an attempt, you will see that you can't draw such a line because it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. You may think this body is I. Is it I? Soon you will see, no, it is not I. It is just world. It is just processed food. That's all. What is it? It is just food that you eat, gets processed, and that you call I. You are not this body. You can see it by various examples that the body may be like a vehicle that you drive here in and then park it there and then bring yourself in this vehicle called body. Park it on the chair. That is also a parking place. And then many times the car called body remains there. You go out wandering here and there. That is why what goes on in the class you are not aware about. That it is because you were not there. So that is why it is you can easily see that you are not body. So this is not I, this is world. Then where is to draw the boundary? Maybe mind, you will see anything. Mind also is not I. It is also a machine that I use, not I. So where is I and world difference? It is. So this is the awareness that the incarnation of God wants to communicate to us. And this communication happens in a very subtle way, superfine way that you do not know how the effect is there, how it is happening. By observing, not necessarily in a conscious way, but unconscious observing of the life of this incarnation of God leaves an impression. And thus we find a way to connect, and thus we are taken on the ship and taken to that shore. So this is where the practicality of all these principles can be seen, that for almost 99.9% of the people who want to cross, who want to realize the absolute in their heart, they have no other choice but to take recourse to this human manifestation. Otherwise, we can read, of course, something from Upanishads, and that is wonderful. But here in an incarnation, you see these Upanishads coming alive. You see the Upanishads are, as Swami Vivekananda mentions, that I saw. He was referring to Sri Ramakrishna. I saw Upanishads walking around, Upanishads eating, Upanishads playing, Upanishads doing. Because Upanishad is not as something just abstract, ethereal idea, but Upanishad is a way. Upanishad brings you that teaching right in you in an experiential manner, that you are that. So, Sri Ramakrishna's this life is describing that it is a teachership incarnate. It is wonderful. We have been seeing this particular chapter, Sri Ramakrishna, how the life of Mathuranath Bishwas, Mathur Babu, gets transformed by the touch of Sri Ramakrishna. As we saw that Mathur Babu was a very wealthy person, a lot of worldly intelligence with him, a lot of authority, was owner of that whole Kali temple in Dakshineshwar, where this young man, Sri Ramakrishna, was a minor employee as a priest. So their positions differed hugely. But we saw how Sri Ramakrishna, just his simplicity, his devotion, his tremendous love for God, his renunciation, all these qualities impressed Mathur to such an extent that he became an ardent devotee. He was a worldly man, worldly, but not in the sense that he didn't want to get out of it. He therefore suspected Sri Ramakrishna as well must be a deranged person. The person who is not in the sane frame of mind, or his renunciation may not be real. So he tested Sri Ramakrishna every time in various different ways. And every time what happened? It is Sri Ramakrishna's life came to him as more and more shining brilliance. So that is how his whole life then became surrendered to Sri Ramakrishna. We shall see. We have seen many incidents. One that was being discussed last time was he saw Sri Ramakrishna as he was walking one day in that veranda in the lobby in front of his room. Mathur Babu was watching, from the window of his this house there, a very special house where the owners used to live. So from there he saw Sri Ramakrishna, and he saw that when Sri Ramakrishna had his back towards him, he appeared to be Kali, and when he was coming back, he appeared to be Shiva. And he saw it. He said that, well, I thought my eyes are not showing me right. So I again and again rubbed my eyes, and this is what I saw. He came and fell at the feet of Sri Ramakrishna. So Sri Ramakrishna tried to console him. What happened? What will people say? You are the owner of this place. People will think that I have put some charm on you. He said, well, let people say whatever, what my experience today, I can never forget in my life. Because of that, Mathur now surrendered to Sri Ramakrishna completely and did everything possible to keep him in the most comfortable way. According to him, it is when you worship somebody or when you worship the God, you offer the best possible things to God. It is out of your love that you are offering. Not that God needs it. After all, what can you offer to God? God gives you. From that you give something and feel proud about it. It is, I have donated this much money to God. Now who gave you the money? Whose is the money? From that you offer a little bit and feel so proud about it. That it is. But Mathur Babu, as a devotee, what has been offered actually? Love is offered. That love makes you do whatever best you can do. It is Sri Ramakrishna himself gave an example that a landlord has a big orchard, and to take care he has kept an expert gardener there to take care of everything. And occasionally the owner goes to visit the place, how things are. And one day when he goes there, the gardener receives him with all honor, humility, and says, oh sir, see, this is the best papaya that was growing. I just kept it for you. So he gives that papaya. Now what is that gardener giving? The whole garden belongs to this owner. The gardener is not giving anything of his own. Yet the gardener is giving something. That is his respect, his love, and all that. That is being given. If not, then what can we give to God? So Mathur Babu was offering lot of things, but Sri Ramakrishna was completely unconcerned. He didn't have any that idea that, oh, see, he is keeping me with so much respect and honor. How comfortable now this is. He had nothing to do about it. There is the description that Mathur bought, thinking that Sri Ramakrishna should not be fed in the ordinary plate. So he brought a gold plate for Sri Ramakrishna and a nice silver glass. So very all pricey things. So Sri Ramakrishna, well, he ate, that's all. He didn't care whether it is gold plate or a leaf plate. They make the plates from the leaves. So, in fact, very nice, hygienic. And so, the plate that Sri Ramakrishna that he didn't care whether it is gold or what, ate and got up. So Mathur said, that is how you are. You are unconcerned about it. Look at me. You finished your food, got up, and now I am concerned. This is so costly. Let me properly clean and keep it in lock and key so that it doesn't get stolen. So I am worried about it. You are not at all concerned about it. So that is how he bought, this is all the description on this page there, that he bought a nice this shawl of very pricey shawl, very nicely this embroidered and this special wool, and gave it to Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna, like a child, put it on and was telling, look, Mathur bought this nice shawl for me. Very nice, look at it. After 2 minutes, he started saying to himself, what this just creates this distinction. I am better than others. This shawl is taking me away from God. Oh, fie upon it. He just not only threw the shawl, he wanted to burn it. He put fire to it. Somebody ran and saved the shawl and then told Mathur Babu that look what he was doing. So Mathur Babu said, well, what he did is the right thing. So whatever would cause a sense of that ego, I am superior to anybody, Sri Ramakrishna would find it so painful. So it is his, he would just get rid of it. Suppose it is a very nice shawl, beautiful looking, and so normally people will wear it and then try to show people that, well, this is like this. Sri Ramakrishna himself told the story of a lady that she had put on a lot of jewelry and ornaments. Now who looks, but now, so she had lot of rings, so she put rings, diamond rings on all fingers, and then started showing people, hey, look at this. Look at this. Now who shows finger like this? No, but then she wanted to show the nice rings that she has put on. So, hey, look at this. Hey, do you see that dog there? Now what is there? That dog, but then the ring is to be shown. So that is the common person's understanding. But Sri Ramakrishna, nothing like that. If anything is creating a sense of that I am superior to others, that would bring so much pain to him, he would immediately remove it, as if, if you have put on something and then it may be looking good, but there is a scorpion on it. What will you do? A scorpion, you will not throw it away. Scorpion bite is terrible. I don't know if any of you had it. I had twice. It is you are fortunate that you didn't have it. It stings terribly. So it is so very painful. So therefore we'll throw it away. It is, no, I don't want it. Similarly, Sri Ramakrishna, anything, even a slightest tinge of worldliness is there, he would just discard it, throw it. And so this Mathur Babu saw all this and tested him deliberately. But what can be done? Sri Ramakrishna passed all these these examinations with just flying colors. That it is, let us read the next para, that in addition to the many stories about Mathur's wonderful service of the Master, we have also heard many other tales from the Master. To test the Master's purity of heart, Mathur engaged some immoral women to tempt him. When Mathur proposed in writing to transfer to Master all the temple's property held in trust, the latter blurted out in an ecstatic mood, "What? Do you want to make me a worldly person?" Then he became very angry with Mathur and rushed to hit him. It will be understood when we would contrast our behavior with it. Suppose somebody comes with an idea to our Charlie, just an example with anybody, that it is that Charlie, come on, I will come to give you $1 million check. So how would be the Charlie will be receiving him? "Oh, sure, please come in. Take a seat. Take this piece of nice pie I specially bought from that." And so, because now he is giving him $1 million, which Sri Ramakrishna, when Mathur came to give, he took a stick to beat him, you say. That was the reception. So it is. Why? Because that complete total renunciation even of the thought of having some money. So it is. We understand from these events that Mathur's devotion to the Master was gradually become steady and unwavering. But how could it be otherwise? The Master's wonderful, rare, superhuman character became more luminous daily as he passed all Mathur's tests. And the Master's limitless, selfless love captured Mathur's heart. Mathur observed that he could not affect the Master's ideal of renunciation by offering him property worth millions of rupees. He could not create any lust in the Master's mind by bringing beautiful women. The highest respect any person can offer to another is to worship that individual as God. And this is a big test, Many who could somehow pass the earlier two tests, this is a big pitfall. Honor. And we get attached to respect, honor, devotion of shown by others. That is a big trap. It is somebody comes and shows you honor. Here is, Sri Ramakrishna is being held with what kind of respect or reverence? Like God. Mathur was worshipping him as God, holding him in that esteem as God. And still that did not create any ripple in Master's mind. He was like the ocean. That is how Bhagavad Gita gives this example. That in ocean, imagine, you see, that so many rivers are continuously emptying their waters. In ocean, see, where uh, big rivers like Mississippi, Amazon, Nile, and all, they are pouring so much of water in the ocean. But ocean remains unperturbed by that. It is so also this person people may respect, doesn't nothing happens. People may give such reverence, nothing happens. That person does not get titillated by that also. It is very difficult, it is certainly difficult to be unperturbed when somebody insults us. If I get insulted by somebody, then I keep on thinking about it for days. That fellow, I shall teach that fellow another lesson on some day. So I keep on inflicting the same insult again and again on me. And that person did it once, but by thinking it again and again, I keep on insulting myself more and more. So that is how a common person, that is certainly digesting insults is difficult, but much more difficult is digesting the reverence offered, or even the ordinary respect or praise offered. If you are offered praise, see, we get immediately mellowed down. If I am praised, Swami, you give such nice lectures, I feel very good. It is our balance gets just disturbed by praise or reverence shown by people. Here is the Sri Ramakrishna's example, that Mathur saw a person, not ordinary person, somebody like a king. Mathur is offering worship like a divine being, and yet that did not cause even the slightest ripple in Sri Ramakrishna. So this was all witnessed by Mathur, and therefore he could give all this heart's respect. And there was another incident that is narrated here on page 494. That was there was one priest who was actually Mathur Babu's family priest. There is a tradition in many places, especially in Bengal, called family priest. So that is a lineage going on, and so they go to that family and do the all the rites of worship, etc., in that household. So he was, his name was Chandra Haldar, and he saw that Sri Ramakrishna has somehow charmed Mathur Babu. He wanted to have that kind of hold on Mathur Babu. People want to have some hold on rich, influential and powerful people, that so that they can get something from them. So that is how he was thinking, that I am family priest of Mathur, and so I will get a good hold on this person. But he saw Sri Ramakrishna kind of came from behind, and Mathur is just so devoted to him. So he saw that it is because of Sri Ramakrishna his chance is gone. So he was hating Sri Ramakrishna. But now what Sri Ramakrishna had nothing much to say or to do. So he asked him that how did you charm the master, this Mathur? One day he found, and that incident is narrated here on page 495, that when Sri Ramakrishna was taken to the dwelling place of Mathur Babu in Kolkata, quite a distance from where Sri Ramakrishna's that temple was, Dakshineshwar temple, from and this was in this heart of the city, Jan Bajar, and was a kind of a palatial house of Mathur Babu there. So Sri Ramakrishna was taken there for some time. They were having some festivity. So he was with their house was naturally full of all amenities, and Sri Ramakrishna was kept there as guest of honor, with lot of service being offered to him. Now that didn't make Sri Ramakrishna any different. So he was one day, as he was staying there, he was in samadhi, that state where he was not aware of the external surroundings. Then this Chandra Haldar saw that there was nobody around, and he thought that that's a good chance to now question Sri Ramakrishna. And Sri Ramakrishna was coming out of that state of samadhi, but still was not quite out of it, was not capable of still talking to people outside. So he was still indrawn, and at that time this Chandra Haldar asks him, "Hey, tell me what charm you have put on, master. Tell me about it. What is it?" Sri Ramakrishna heard everything. You know, that kind of samadhi is where your sensory organs are connected to the world, but the motor organs are not active. You do not want to still go to interact with the world. So he was seeing, he was listening, but was not capable of responding at all. So this man thought that Sri Ramakrishna is faking. Why are you faking now, as if you are not hearing me? Don't fake this kind of trance. It is, I know you know everything, how to charm this Mathur Babu. What did you do? I want to know. Still Sri Ramakrishna did not speak, didn't say a word. So finally, in disgust, he kicked Sri Ramakrishna with his foot, and then uttered some bad words and left the place. So Sri Ramakrishna did not say any of this to Mathur Babu. In fact, it is not mentioned here, but in another biography of Sri Ramakrishna it is there that Sri Ramakrishna said it to somebody there, that I will not tell this to Mathur. I will not tell this to Mathur, so that it will never escape his lips. His truthfulness was such that since he said, I will not say this, these words will not be able to escape his mouth, because he knew if this is known to Mathur, then this fellow will be just killed. it is how Mathur will not be able to even thinks that somebody is insulting, and here he is kicking with foot Sri Ramakrishna. This was later narrated to Mathur when, because of something else, some other offense, this priest, Chandrababu Haldar, was thrown out of that place. He went elsewhere and out of reach of Mathur Babu. So at that time, Sri Ramakrishna then told that this was what happened. So the important point here is that he would not only go to hurt somebody, but would see that because of his words, nobody would come to harm. So he would take care of it. Mathur Babu saw all this and therefore was getting new evidence every day of his divinity. It is said here that there are pictures of these places in the book, that this Jan Bajar's picture, this is Jan Bajar where Mathur's that palatial house is. So is that house still there? You don't know. Okay, yeah, I will have to ask that Shukalyan or Prithvish, and they have gone to all these places there. Yeah. So Mathur and his wife felt wholeheartedly that the Master's infinite grace as a guru towards them. They considered him to be God and surrendered themselves to him. We find clear proof that they did not hide anything in their minds from him. Both of them would say, Father, in Bengali they would say Baba, is not a human being. Of what avail would it be to hide anything from him? He is omniscient and knows the inmost secrets in every human mind. You cannot hide from God who sits inside. It is from others' gaze you can hide things. But God who is within you, how can you hide anything? He is all observant. And when you think of it, that is the way you become pure in mind. That is why every morning when we do worship here, we recite that special verse. Tad Vishno Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Surayah Diviva Chakshuratatam. I tell it often because I like that prayer so much. That meaning of it is that I remember Lord Vishnu, whose eye is spread all over the space, and so is watching everybody, our every action. And when you think like that, your behavior becomes pure. Now you are being watched. You can't, even if the regular police is watching, you don't dare to do anything bad. Here God is watching. It is, that somebody told that in the before Christmas, this was being told that, oh children, if you are telling Santa that you had been good, remember Santa sees all your Facebook posts and your text messages and all. Santa knows all those. So your bragging that we have been good may not work. So it is, God sees everything. What can you hide? Sri Ramakrishna himself, and there are plenty of evidences of that, he said that the minds of everybody are so clearly visible to me, as if the things kept in glass case. just as one can see them easily. The minds of the people could be easily seen. This is something that we must remember, that Sri Ramakrishna is watching, is aware even now, whatever we are doing. So, therefore, when you know this, they wouldn't hide anything from Sri Ramakrishna. What is the point in hiding? These were not mere words. They behaved accordingly to this understanding. They lived, ate, and traveled with the Father. What did it matter if the Father freely visited the private rooms of their household? Even without going to the inner apartment, he knew the secret thoughts of each man and woman of the household. Knows thoughts, actions, inner workings of everyone more than we know ourselves. More than we know ourselves. Do you get it, Tommy? That you may not be aware, but the God in us is aware of it fully. That whatever we are thinking, we know, oh, I know my mind. Actually, we do not know our mind at all. It is very difficult to know our own mind, let alone somebody else's. That, scientists, they have mastered it fully. They haven't mastered it fully. Yeah. So we do not know what is going on in our mind, but Sri Ramakrishna knows that what is going on. So therefore, let us remember this idea, that this is fully clear to Sri Ramakrishna. There is absolutely nothing that can be hidden from him. So, that and many such incidents have been told here, that it is the one thing that was noticed, that the women of the household felt no shyness or hesitation with the Father as they did in the presence of other men. Women naturally feel that because of the gender things, that when they are mixing with men, they have some inhibition. But with Sri Ramakrishna, they did not feel any such inhibition, because he was not in that sense a man or a woman. He was man, woman, and beyond all that. So therefore, they did not feel any inhibition with Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna told a story that it is in Bhagavatam, at least that is what Sri Ramakrishna says, that incident is there, may not be exactly these words, that the great sage Shuka was the son of Vyasa, another sage who is attributed with the all the organization of the Vedic literature. So Shuka, as the legend goes, that was not born quickly. Usually after 9-10 months, the baby comes out of the womb. This baby took longer. How long? 16 years, Yeah. So, and as came out after 16 years, started walking. Just came out of the womb, and then renounced everything, started going out of the house. The father, now father Vyasa, he is has that attachment, my son, my son. So he started running after him. Oh, my son. Shuka was going without paying any heed. And then, as on that path, there was a pond where many women were taking their bath. And then, when this Shuka just passed there, Vyasa came passing. As soon as they saw Vyasa is coming, they immediately covered their bodies with whatever clothing there was quickly. And Vyasa was, he felt the anomaly of such behavior. He asked them, look, I am an old man. When my young son passed, you never thought of covering your bodies. When this old man is passing, you thought of covering your bodies. What is this? I don't get it. And those ladies said, we never thought that he was a man. There was no such gender thing there. And therefore we didn't think of, picking up our clothings. So it is, this is an important thing, that if there is no such awareness in a person of gender difference, which is a rare thing, then the behavior of other people also becomes very different. We shall continue to discuss this. Let us meditate for a few seconds, and then in case if you have questions, you can ask. Yes, please. Yes, Charlie.
It seems to me to be really easy to renounce something if what you're renouncing causes you pain, like the money or lust. So why is that a big accomplishment if it just caused them pain anyway?
Yeah, if that is, you are very correct. Whatever causes us pain, we can renounce. Then why are we not renouncing this world? Because we do not always feel it as the source of pain. We feel it as source of pleasure. And even when we get pain from it, we do not hold the whole world responsible for it. This fellow, that is the cause of my pain, or this situation is the cause of my pain. It is only because the patriots lost, so that is the source of pain. The world in general is not thought of as the source of pain. Such incidents, such persons or situations, that is considered as source of pain, and then we run after therefore other things. It is, so okay, it is painful, but maybe with the new job my situation will become better. So you do not see that the world as such is full of suffering. Buddha saw that. Buddha therefore said, Sarvam Dukkham, all is suffering. A great statement, Therefore there is nothing worth possessing here, nothing worth running after in this world. So you renounce it. That knowledge is renunciation. that you don't have to then make an effort to renounce. But for us, we have to practice it, so that gradually we will get there. Yeah. Yes, that is how the example could be given. Yes, gopis. Yes, there is this statement in Bhagavad that they say that, well, it is not that you are man and we are women, not like that. We are aware that you are God Himself coming in this human form. Naso Ramana Naham Ramani. Well, that is, you are not man, I am not a woman. So therefore, actually, gopis are they really symbols. Gopis are not women. The devotees are called gopis, and they gopis, the attraction of devotees to Krishna, that is being depicted there. That Krishna, who is in the heart of everyone, the source of all attraction. That is the etymology of the word Krishna. Krishna is the one who attracts. So, Karshayati iti Krishna, the one who pulls us, attracts us. So, that is attracting everyone. So, that is the real attraction. And the devotees feel it. So the gopis are just devotees. In Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, therefore it is written, Sri Ramakrishna says that gopis were all actually the great sages who had been liberated but still wanted to enjoy the bliss of playing with God. So they became they took the bodies of gopis. So that is the example of real pure love for God, without even the trace of carnality or trace of any desire. In fact, even the Bhagavatam describes when even a slight trace of I came in the minds of the gopis, God disappeared from the midst of them. So this is the love of gopis to Krishna is, yes, it is a genderless love, correct. So let us conclude with the closing prayers. Let me remind you, this coming Sunday there is a day-long program of Swami Vivekananda's birth anniversary. His birthday is actually on Friday according to the lunar calendar. According to the regular Gregorian calendar or the Western calendar, it was yesterday. On Sunday, 12th, yeah. Today, 12th January, on Sunday. But according to the lunar calendar with which we observe birthdays, it will be on Friday. But for the convenience of the devotees, we will celebrate it on Sunday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. with various programs. So you are all invited. May the Divine, who is Father in heaven of the Christians, Holy One of the Jewish faith, Allah of the Muslims, Buddha of the Buddhists, Tao of the Taoists, Great Spirit of the Native Americans, Ahur Mazda of the Zoroastrians, and Brahman of the Hindus, lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May the all-loving being manifest himself unto us and grant us abiding understanding and all-consuming divine love. Peace, peace, peace be unto all.